Ah, screw it. I just need to spectate, right? All right. By the power of the moon and the stars. Excellent. We've done it. Yes, that was the game master over yonder. All right. Oh, he's coming to check me out. It's okay. I swear to God, this was normal. All right? Cool. Now, let's go ahead and do our PvP commentary. We got the Argentinians covering these sectors over here. I'm going to put my light on just to help commentate everything. They've got some bunkers on this position. Bunker is part of this defensive network. They also have this nice little ridge here. Don't know if that's part of the map or if they used a former to make it, which would be quite cool. So we've got all of that set up. Excellent. All right, we got the entity list right there. Whoop, didn't mean to click on him, but otherwise, they've got a little bit of a makeshift bunker system right here. They're grabbing ammo. Got some M79 grenade launchers in play. We got some FNFALs. And we have... yeah, I think it's going to be FNFALs versus L1A1. So what is that? 762x51 across the board, I would say. Otherwise, looking over here at the rest of the hilltop, we got other guys working with stuff. Now, these guys are using TFAR instead of TFAR beta, so my plugin to listen to them locally is not going to work. Just because I have to keep myself muted, because when someone dies, I hear everyone in chat, which is a little unfortunate. Otherwise, Argentinians are also going to be covering this bunker here. Basically, this entire ridgeline, they got a bunch more bunkers to work with. Not gonna lie, I do appreciate these bunkers. We also have some ammo caches here as well within those bunkers. So if I want to get that out, I just gotta click on that button. All right. I haven't spectated with the vanilla interface that I have to kill myself with in a while. So I'm just getting back and used to it and everything. But otherwise, this entire Game Master's... oh, gosh. Did the Game Master also kill himself? Damn. I didn't realize he was gonna... Alright, well, he's dead. That's quite unfortunate. That idiot's dead. Rip Bozo. And I don't even see a Blue Force slot. That's funny. Alright. Otherwise, basically, Green Fortress has to cover these two areas, and the British are going to be assaulting them. So the British have a few camps. They've got some Land Rovers over here. British are going to be using L1A1s right here. We've got some GPMGs in play for them as well. And then I also see that is an M16A3, I believe. That might be an A4, actually, but it has a 203 grenade launcher. So that's one force right there. We've got another one that... right here, I missed them. They've got another Land Rover to move up. I'm not sure if that Land Rover can take everyone, though, so they might have to do multiple trips. Looks like they have AT in play. I'd imagine both sides... actually, he has an assistant that also has HE rounds for him. If they get a lucky HE hit in the bunker, that's going to cause massive casualties. And then you also have these guys over here. So it's nearly a mirror fight, actually, between the battle rifles, GLs, and the GPMGs on both sides. Looking at the rest of the map, I don't see much. Now, I don't have myself muted in the TFAR channel, that's why you just heard that, so all the more reason of why I needed to make sure I kept myself muted, but I couldn't hear them locally in the spectator interface, so again, that's the difference between TFAR and TFAR beta, which is why I prefer doing things with beta, but that is okay. So we have the British plans right there, and the Argentinians are pretty much going to be separated across these two ridges, so we're just going to see a massive tracer fight. So I might not even put my own tracers on, and we'll see how this goes. But yeah, Argentinians got some nice bunker networks here, and we'll see how all that goes. Normally, I would shy away from using a lot of rocks to make bunkers as a Zeus and Game Master and Mission Maker, but because this map is literally, like, rocks and deformed terrain, there's no buildings, there's no structures, there's no nothing, you can get away with doing shit like that. Like, you even have some roads all the way out here, but no structures, and they got the satellite imagery map to fill everything in, but I don't even see a single freaking structure on this map. I only see little paths and whatnot. I would like to make my own goose green op or something Falklands related and use the former to make my own little indents and bunkers like that. That'll be a project we probably come out with next summer or something. Maybe for an MCO. We'll have to see. But overall, pretty standard operation here. It's going to be really difficult for the British to get into this AO, in my opinion, but we'll have to see what they plan to actually come up here, and we'll have to see if the Argentinians are able to lock everything down. We also have some AT-4s in play right here. I apologize, this is bright. We also see that GPMG right there. So they have a bit of light anti-tank, probably to stop any trucks from rushing up. And I'm trying to see if there's any scopes in play. I don't see it, so it's going to be pure iron sights. I find that kind of interesting, because one of the pinnacles of PvP is proper balance. And both sides having the same caliber, it's actually, you know, realistic for what happened in the scenario. So we'll have to see how all that goes. Reminds me of Falklands map a bit. Yeah, because it is Falklands. All right. Oh, this is an hour 20 mission. Wow. I'm going to be honest with you, though. I do not see this lasting an hour and 20 minutes the way the British will come up and whatnot. I see this lasting half that time. But if these are 2-hour rounds, then we could be here for a while. But even so... What, we have like 2 or 3 kilometers of walking distance, and then... The AO as... Yeah, I don't see how this could go past an hour, to be perfectly honest, but that's entirely fine with me. It's technically... I actually could be wrong when I say this, but when you say AT-4, that usually means an M136, which is much bigger than an M72 Law. Because an M72 Law is much more compact with a smaller rocket. I actually don't know which mod it is specifically that does this map. I think it's literally called Melvenia, or whatever Falklands style name it is. I've seen it before. I just don't remember the exact name. Because I was looking into doing a Falklands scenario way back when, but this was before Deformer came out. But I was going to do a full map conversion, which I'm doing right now for a 40K community on Altis, but I have to pick and choose my time and where I spend everything. But I'd imagine Green 4 is literally just going to hunker down. I don't see any units going out and doing any scouting. Op 4 might just divide their forces evenly and hit both of these spots, but we'll just have to see how things go. AT-4 wasn't around for the Falklands, I know, but they probably did it for balancing, Tulip. PvP in Arma 3, yes, they try to get everything right that they can, like the weaponry, for example, I think is pretty accurate on both sides except for that AT-4, but they gave Green 4 and AT-4, I guess, to prevent any trucks from just rushing up with Op 4 players, and that's just an example of some of the decisions you do have to make these scenarios properly for the sake of balance. Which, granted, I actually don't think is necessarily needed, because the only thing Op 4 has are those Land Rover trucks. A GPMG or a well-placed M79 round would have actually torn through it, but I think they wanted to give Op 4 a shock weapon. So that's what they decided on. And again, every community is different and it's balanced. Do I always agree with it? No, but we have to respect it. Because it is difficult to raise, you know, 100, 120 players to play an event. Yeah, unfortunately, Goat Ridge does not seem to be present in this scenario. It's back there instead. I'm going to have a swig of my cider here. Ooh. Alright, so Op 4, meanwhile, they're pretty much moving things up. We've got Layden, I believe he is the commander for Op 4, Green Force commander. Doesn't seem to have a specific unit, so I'm going to assume that's Shadow, Elmer, and Da right here. So we have multiple forces moving into various positions. But again, it's going to take Op for a few seconds to actually get into the scenario here. You know, that's a really good question. I, based off of visuals, cannot tell you if their weapon is the full auto version of the SLR. I would assume both sides have that full auto capability, but we're not going to know until people start shooting. Because it looks like they're using the FNFAL texture, which is the, you know, single loading rifle. But again, we're just going to have to see. But I know Arma 3 has both full auto and semi-auto FNFALs, which fill in for SLRs for this. So could be anyone's game. That's a cross right there. Interesting. Oh yeah, I've been told this is also going to be a pretty heavy tracer fest. We got some flares going off on the side. They're, I guess, practicing the illumination rounds. But those do illuminate really well. They're quite pretty, but I think they only last for 30 seconds. Oh yeah, because that's, you're full autoing a 308 battle rifle, which is very hard to control. And Arma does reflect that really well. Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we? I love how that's staying up there, too. Blue 4 ground command is dead. The game master slot. All right, at the rate they're going, we're probably going to have contact in about 8 minutes. Again, they're going to get in a position to move up the ridge. Well, I'd imagine Green 4 is going to take the first shots after they see where Op 4 is coming in. Again, Green 4 are the Argentinians, Op 4 are the British. So we'll see how all that goes. Otherwise, I hope you all are having a wonderful Saturday evening. Or Sunday morning, depending on where you are in the world. And I don't think I have any major announcements at the moment, other than, you know, just continuing everything. Again, when both the rounds are done, I'll probably put a poll up to see if you guys would rather watch DayZ or Darktide, because I could do both. Either or. I still have Darktide weeklies to get done, and I want to screw around on the Namalsk server. Play both at the same time. Slushy, I hate to disappoint, but I am incapable of such a feat. Alright, so you got Layden moving ahead here. I guess scouting his drop points right there, and then you got the British coming in. Not far behind. Looks like leadership elements get the M16A4 with the 203 system. If I were to refer that, yeah, so he's the top slot. We don't have a slash that normally orientates it, but usually it's the guy on the top of the list that takes that leadership element. But yeah, so we've got leadership, we got a GPMG, actually 2 GPMGs per squad. Everyone with an L1A1 and then a medic. We also have a single AT guy, and then he has an assistant. At least I thought he had an assistant. But they all have carry-all backpacks, so we might not. So it might just be 1 AT and 1 HE round per. And then otherwise, the Argentinian players, you got the leader right here. Also, he has a weapon backpack right there. I don't know what that goes to, though, so they might be able to deploy statics. But he also has a different stock on his weapon, a skeletal stock for that single loading rifle. Rest of these guys have that. We also have some dudes with M72 laws, which again, technically weren't part of the fight, but I think that was made for balancing. And then again, you've got to change in, you got a skeletal stock right there. And I know for a fact I saw dudes with M79s. There you go. So he has to have some sort of handgun to go with that. And then here are the GPMG gunners. But it looks like they have less GPMGs. They only have 1 GPMG per squad, give or take, whereas the British get 2. And again, I think that's done for balancing's sake. Which makes sense, you know, defenders get 1 GPMG and they have fortified positions. Attackers get 2 GPMGs, but they're going to be assaulting from the open or cover to cover. Now, interestingly enough, we have a single unit scouting around here. He's in his inventory right now. I'm curious what he might do. Because when I see a single infantry unit out like this, it means he's either doing scouting or he's planting mines. So we'll just have a look. With all the ambient gunfire, though, it does make it sound like there's an occasional suppressed shot. So that's been throwing me off a little bit. That's okay. It gives me more time to drink cider. And for those of you new to this interface, no, me illuminating him like this is not reflected server side. So the British aren't going to see a random spotlight over this one dude. Once in a blue moon, I do get that question. That would give me way too much power to cast or curse people, because I'd just light them up and go, here they are, shoot them. Give me content. He's right here, shoot him. So I think he's just going around and scouting around here. Make a script and do it. Can you imagine playing one of my Zeus ops and all of a sudden there's just this illumination under you with no source and you're like, what the hell? And then the AI start lighting you up? Good God. I'd be an asshole at that point. Alright, so first point of contact, in my opinion, is probably going to be right here. Now, this ridge does give Op4 a lot of room to move up. Green 4, I feel like, are going to... They've got ridges, but Op4 have a lot of units to come over here. This fight, I feel, is more even, but... I don't know. I feel like Op4 have a good advantage for this one fight. Let's go ahead and look at the line that Op4 needs to conquer to get up here. The best way for Op4 to hit this position is if they come along the right flank, get into the high ground, and just flank these bunkers, because attacking from down here is going to be hellish. Now, granted, you could have Op4 put a squad right here and distract this line, and then have another squad come around and flank it like this. Green 4 right here, best way to attack it, honestly, is from this ridge and just move up. Take the left side. You can sneak units around on the left, put them around. You can also have units in the far area sneak all the way around, then come and hit this rear. But once you take one spot, you have this massive open area that I'm assuming the defender would then turn guns to hold. So it's really... These are two separate AOs that aren't really in the best positions to support each other than covering this open field here. So it does make sense why there are two separate attacks going here. Attach a chem light to yourself and become a lighthouse. That's what we did with good old Rudolph in Splendid Squad. But this is going to be one of those ops that really just relies on the PvP. Because at this range, there's no proper way to tell what's going to happen. Night vision's not too bad to look at either. Thermal's not too bad either, so we'll be cycling through. Ah, yes, drunk, jobless, homeless, drug-addicted Rudolph. Hey, man, he's trying his best. Still gonna be another 5 or so minutes. Looking at Op4, though, I think they're starting to feel up the terrain right here, giggity. And they're just gonna move up these rock areas. Down to their level, though, they're starting to see those flares over. So they know there's activity, because someone has to be shooting those flares. Top, technically I am hydrating right now, but it happens to be with homemade cider. The suspense is killing me? Yeah. I get why they had Op 4 spawn so far back, because Green 4 have these really good sight lines, and if they crank their render distance up, they'll be able to see things unless there's a render distance limiter on the server, which there very well could be, but I didn't see any news about that. So, with this being a 2-hour op, it's literally giving Op 4 all the time they need to make their maneuvers to get in, and then it's going to be just a lot of shooting back and forth as Op 4 desperately tries to maneuver on the Green 4 positions. Now, in the Falklands War, the British had air superiority, and they were dropping bombs on Argentinian positions, and they also had a lot of artillery support. Argentinians also had artillery support, but as soon as they used it, air support would take it out. So this is what happens when you don't have that support on either side. That's actually a really cool concept. What if you did Falklands War, but you gave the Argentinians a little bit of AA, and you actually gave the British some air support that could drop bombs? Because they're going to have to fly low to make that bombing run, but if there's a man pad on that hill that you're trying to bomb, ooh, you're going to be in trouble. Actually, you might be right, because I remember it was a lot of AAA. It wasn't necessarily a lot of AA. Difference is anti-air versus anti-air artillery. Anti-air artillery being like CU guns and stuff, things where you'd fire bullets in the air essentially. AA would be missiles. I don't remember how much anti-air the Argentinians actually had. They had a lot of AAA though, which again would be cool. Part of the reason the Argentinians didn't have a lot of AA was, well, they did, but unfortunately seed missiles were a thing. For those of you that don't know what seed missiles are, they're described as anti-radiation missiles, meaning you would launch them from dozens of kilometers out, and they would hone in on the source of radar installations or anything guided by radar, which, for larger AA platforms that rely on radar to then guide their missiles into the target, wouldn't be effective because they would just get hit by a seed missile and, you know, destroy the radar and then make the radar-guided systems of AA useless. So this is the forward element right now. Having a look, they are the closest. No, actually, that's debatable. They're about 400 meters away. This group is also a little past 400.
Welcome, shall we?
There we go. So I don't have my tracer lines on because everyone has tracer ammo loaded. So right off the bat, someone else is dead, but he's at spawn. Tio here, though, has also died, though, so it's not going to make their arrows disappear. John also dead. Wow. 2 dead right off the bat in that opening barrage. Martinez was spotted and taken out over here. He was at one reconnaissance unit. But that, to me, shows that you get hit once with one of these rounds, you're going down, which means there's not really any body armor usage, which is fair for the fight. So these guys aren't using the bunker position, they're using this rock position right here. They might have eyes on those units in a second. Looking about the flare. I think he has eyes on him. Yep. there it is. British have the GPMG front, so they're firing. SDSJ takes to a tier 1 sub. Hope you can join the ops. Hope you get a nice kick out of this little scenario. It's assault on Mont de Hermans, which is past Mount Canada. Gotcha, Millennium. Thank you. Look at all that fire going back and forth. So the rear element for the British are now firing up in droves here. I'm trying to see if those single SRLs are full auto or single shot. AT going back and forth. Maybe that's why they're not using the bunkers, because they know that'll be AT bait. That round actually detonated early in the air right there. Its fuse ran out. Horizon, it just started to kick off, so didn't miss much. Looking at the other fight right here. Oh God, no. Of course, there's some green on green. People get confused. Based on the fire rates, I'm gonna say they're semi-auto. I haven't seen anyone mag dump with those rifles yet, so it sounds like people are just constantly pulling the trigger to fire the shot, so they might be semi-auto for these guys. Okay, no, based off of that, the quick that's at right there, I think they are full auto, my bad. So I would say the Argentinians are full auto. That just confirmed it for me. Yeah. Argentinians are definitely full auto, because that was one of their rifles going off. So the British are probably single shot. All the rounds you're seeing right now are their GPMGs firing, because they have 2 per squad. And this is 4 squads assaulting right here. The good old bipod angles. Don't you love Arma? This guy's already gotten 3 kills, mind you. So he's dead, he's dead. You got 2 more dead right here, so another AT round heading up. That was on this right side, this partial bunker, that's cleared out. Gotta remember, with this being the vanilla interface, these don't disappear when they die. Oh, they got flare launchers as their secondaries. Interesting. So yeah, GPMG's doing a majority of the work here. Getting a good chunk of kills. Ooh, AT round comes in. Definitely makes him pull his rifle out. He's leaning right to stay in the cover right here with the rock. We're now trying to move up taking fire as they do so. GPMGs providing cover fire as they advance. This guy on 2 kills, Ilbanek. So that's 5 kills across 2 machine gunners so far. 3 and 2 right here. And they have no way to confirm their kills right now, because it's just suppression back and forth. Got M72 Law coming out now. He's priming it. And he puts it away last second because the smoke's too thick. They're right on top of the Argentinians' position. They've only got a few guys out here and a few guys on that bunker. They still have their GPMG gunner and their M79 guy. This could be devastating for the British if they are detected. Those 4 guys are down. We have another guy down right here. Ooh, AT hits the bunker again. I think they heard them coming. They know. And they've got the GPMG forward. This could be devastating for the British. Rounds begin. Point man is taken out. Oh, but a GL goes off and takes out the 2 guys on the ridge. Ian is knocked on con. And I'm not sure if Sabolt there is still alive. Grenades going off. That finishes off Ian there. Both of them are down. Zendek's taken out. These 2 men still on point now. Most of this ridge has been taken out then. Wow. But there are still only 2 guys on the forward element. You got this machine gunner out here providing a distraction here, just randomly spraying out up on that hill to try to draw Argentinian fire. And you still have the rest of the force right here, all along that ridge. Doing a quick check, I want to see how the other guys are doing right here. You got these long-range fights with the other sector. Not a lot of cover for the British players here. They've already been taking some serious casualties. And they've actually been forced to pull back to their vehicle right here. They might try a different strategy to actually push up. But right here is where the major fight is on this side. So I'm curious right here. I think if they still have their thing here, it means they're, no, they're dead. So Marmy's trying to bandage a dead body. Remember, guys, the meta for seeing if someone is actually dead in Arma 3 is if you can drag or carry the body, then they're still alive. If you can't do that, they're dead. Don't waste your medical. These 2 are up here trying to do medical on this guy, but unfortunately, I don't see a symbol on him, which means he is dead. Great grenade to whoever threw it, but hey, sometimes you can't save the point man. More AT coming up. That was an HE round. Oh, and that explosion, I think, just took out Malario. He goes into unconscious animation. Could still be saved. Gabriel up here is dead. I don't see a symbol on him. More AT going up. It's just short. And Green 4 doing their best to hold. We have a Seagull. Oh, they got the spectator Seagulls out. For everyone that died, so everyone's got a Seagull to spectate. That's cute. Fun little Arma feature right there is, yeah, you can spectate as a stupid little Seagull there. You can see one of them controlling around and running. Matt here trying his best to hold out, but there's just an onslaught coming. Oh, man. So we're 37 minutes in. And that includes the little setup and safe start time. But, yeah, I want to say about 20 minutes in with maneuvering. I don't see how this will go past an hour 30, to be honest. Because at this point, there goes Matt. His symbol's gone, so he was just taken out as British forces are now coming up on his bunker. But these guys are going to take over this position, move into the other position. Argentinians, I'm giving them credit here. They're trying to maneuver some reinforcements up to that hill, but 3 guys is not going to make much of a difference when you've got British forces right on top of this position. And you got 1 survivor right here. This is one of the medics, I believe. Mari is now pulling back. Marmy, excuse me, there's an M in there. But everyone else has been thoroughly taken out. Gotta hand it to the British right now. They are kicking ass. And taking names. Just the spectacle of the tracers going back and forth. And they gotta keep their advance. So you got him single-shotting that GPMG into this bunker because he sees movement in here. He's actually getting it past that bunker, suppressing these guys. They're trying to take all the ammo they can to fall back. Oh, it's a mess right now for the Argentinians. Jeff, I wouldn't say anything funny has happened in terms of highlights. It's just been... I wouldn't even call it a slaughter either. It's just the British fighting hard to get up to Argentinian territory here. And now they're starting to enter the sector. Argentinians making a secondary defensive line deeper past, but will it be enough? Tiny bit of green on green, but yeah, nothing super major here. Ooh, that's an HE Moz round coming. It was just short. British forces, meanwhile, getting right on top of where the Argentinians' first line was. And you can see the Argentinian players are starting to get shot at. They're out in the open here. Bunker has 2 people down right here. And that suppression is just coming in right on my camera. Oh, that takes out another Argentinian. Detonated right there and just blew this guy away. This bunker is thoroughly suppressed. And you got the British moving right up here. Right on top of this bunker. They're double tapping bodies. And we got some debug AI units that they're putting rounds in as well. Oh, man. That was a great HE round right on top of that bunker. That's exactly where you want to see it. Some defensive grenades being thrown. I'm surprised this guy is still alive. He didn't take enough shrapnel to go down. Definitely wounded, though. More HE going in. A little short. But I would say these Argentinian players on Green 4 are definitely suppressed. Look at Norville here. I think he's trying to pop more grenades in. They're going a little far, but that's right behind the bunker. Look at all of those Argentinian players down on Green 4. This bunker has been thoroughly cleared out, and Norville is advancing. Crossing a little bit in the open. He should be pushing up to that bunker instead. But look, Green 4 is doing a proper fallback to the other defensive zone, where you've got British forces starting to get on the flank to move in as well as they try to circumvent this massive open kill zone that the Argentinians have set up in that area over there. So these guys are going to start coming into flank as well, but if we look at the skull count, look at all of those Argentinian players on Green 4 that are down right here. Full group of Alpha 1-4 is down. A lot of casualties in Alpha 1-3 and Alpha 1-2. I'd say the groups that still have their entire 100% player base are probably Alpha 1-5 and the groups that are defending the other zone, but Op4 has only taken a few, in all honesty, compared to the full group wipes that are in Green 4. So it's going to take the British Op 4 players a few moments to take everything. Unfortunately, we got some red on red going here as they miss PID each other. Makes sense. People are jumpy right now as they're trying to pull around. We'll see if that gets a few extra KIA. I would say it's going to work in Green 4's favor, but let's be honest, this is just a stomp out. Norval getting taken out as an Argentinian counterattack, a 4-man come around. This fire team desperately trying to take out some of the British forces along here. One of them goes down. Actually, no, he's medicing. All right. He's okay. And it looks like they're opting to pull back instead because there's a lot of British forces up there, and they are suppressing them pretty hard. We got one crawling back after he did a little bit of medical for himself. And I would say Op 4 have this position pretty well. There's only Stallion and, Station and Carlos in this AO. Grenades going off. That does a little bit of damage to Station there. GPMG starts opening up as well. Got this Argentinian UAZ right now, but ugh. Surprised no one took it to fall back with it either. Instead, they opted to run. And we got the British forces coming along the flank of that area as well. Not a lot of them, though. They could get repelled. But in terms of the southern objective, the British have a pretty massive control over it. But they have taken their fair share of casualties. Everything you see behind this group, that is 4 Op 4 guys dead right there. 2 additional Op 4 guys dead over here. But look at all the Green 4 guys down as well that have been cleared out for the British to push past. Zahir coming around. He's got 2 Argentinians around him. CQC between Mendia, Station, and Carlos. Mendia gets the kill, but Zahir comes around, takes Carlos out. Station trying to line up a shot on Zahir. Has to pull a quick mag reload. Zahir doesn't notice him, though. Tries shooting him in the back. Knocks out Zahir, but now comes Michael. And Rennie, but there was a grenade thrown by Michael. Will that kill Rennie? No, it bounces further back, and that is that bunker cleared out. Meanwhile, the rest of Op 4 on CTU pushing up. A grenade gets thrown. Ferrari and Vizard are taken out. But the only one left right here is Da, because the other 3 are down. He's fighting for his life. But the British have full control of this zone. As you see, it has now been shifted to red. And you're going to see the rest of these British forces come around. They're already taking fire, though, from the neighboring ridge. So you're going to have a long-range engagement here, but that's going to pull attention away from that British strike team that's going to start flanking and taking out that position. Da doing some self-medical here. He is set as the medic, so he should be okay. But we got Ziki coming around to the south. Might get a shot on Da from the rear. Ilbanek, did you die, buddy? How'd you feel about this? I feel like this is a little slower pace compared to other PvP ops, but my gosh, when it heats up, it heats up. Hope you had fun, buddy. Grenades being thrown up by Ziki here to ensure they're dead. We got another grenade being thrown up. That I don't think is going to reach Da's position unless he pushes south. That detonates. Da is still up. Now you got Ziki coming around here. Will he notice Da? Yes, he does. 2 shots. Da is dead. Literally flipped aside, and now we got this side to worry about. So the British are coming up. We got a bunker complex right here. A grenade goes off, takes out Yuri. AI being dropped right here as well. As we got Gardel trying to get into cover. Some fire coming out both from the British position up there and the Argentinians trying to fire along the flank as the flanking force of the British force fires into them as well. Gardel on the side here trying to suppress, but the British forces are in a really good spot here to flank, being suppressed by the other assault group who has fully taken control of that southern sector. Yeah, Ilbanek, that reminds me of when I played a Falklands op under Digby's community. We had a tough time trying to not get lost as well. Gardel getting in a fight with Esto here. He was able to take out Reynolds here. Gardel now pulling away. Grenade thrown on his position. There it detonates, but it detonates further back. I'd imagine both sides have RGN grenades instead of RGO because of how far they've been able to throw them. RGO defensive grenades, you throw them shorter, but they have a bigger blast radius. RGN, you throw them farther, but they're smaller, so they have a smaller blast radius. Hydrate or die stripe. There you go. Now you got the remaining green 4 guys all around right here, and a nice British strike team to push in and take them out. And you have the British forces right here trying to push up to get in positions to suppress. You got this other side here to suppress, which is going to really help. Even though Op 4 doesn't have the number advantage to push, I think they'll be able to take this. But we have an Argentinian green 4 counterattack coming in on the left flank right here. British forces not noticing it. We could see the Argentinians cut in and cause massive casualties. Ardell trying to take out SDO, but he takes fire and is taken out by Reynolds and SDO. Reynolds taken out. CBO here has taken significant damage. You see all that blood around him. SDO trying to push up and return fire. We need to see some grenades going. Maybe these guys close around, but they're not noticing that this is hostile fire because both sides are using 7.62x51 NATO battle rifles between the Argentinians with the SBR and the Op 4 British players with the L1A1. So they sound nearly identical, so it's really hard to do weapon PID at this close to CQC. SDO gets blown away by Mitos with the GPMG there. That might actually be a 240 Bravo, but they're identical. Both 100 round 7.62x51 NATO medium machine guns. So these British players try to come around. Giovanni got taken out. You still got Hugh right here. He is getting flanked though and taken out by Nix, who comes into the bunker and stops him. Got Gardell doing some medical here, but I think that is a dead body. He spots Joe and blows him away. And now you only have CBO, River, and Bex up here. So we got Goaty here. He was firing into the vehicle, I think trying to get a proper bipod on it. It looked like he was firing into the vehicle itself, though. But I'd say this is starting to run out of patience here. You got the southern sector officially captured by the British, and that is now grayed out. So the only other sector here is green 4. But I'm going to be honest, with all of the Op 4 players out right here and all the green 4 guys, I think this is the beginning of the end for green 4. They're putting up a really great fight here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, foul versus foul technically for this round. Let's say you have about a dozen defenders left. Let's do a quick head count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, 12. No, 13. My bad. You've got Gardell pushing up, trying to find the remaining British forces here that did that flanking attack and execute them. Looks like Bex got taken out. So River is trying to do some medical, but he's not officially a medic, so we might not be able to bring him up. I'd imagine River might take that AT out and start using it against the Argentinian forces point blank, but right now what we have to see is the British forces sending another wave to attack, and there might not be much for them to send. Pap right here is staying low. His battle buddy over here, I think, went down. That was AC, because I think CMDT means Commodore, or it might be Commander. CMDT. I don't know. Never seen that one before, personally. But one side basically needs to suppress as the other side pushes in. Maybe we'll see. I feel like this side has a slightly better cover to work with right here on this ridge to push up, but I don't know. Maybe we could see the Argentinians repel both sides. There's a lot of time still left on the clock because these are meant to be 2-hour rounds. And like I said, this would probably be wrapping up around the hour mark, and I've hit that nail on the head. And you got to remember, there's still 10 to 15 minutes of time for safe start. Yeah, it might be Commandant instead with that T. I just couldn't think of the right word for it, but you're right. It might be that Millennium. Looking at it from their POV, it's pretty much just a suppression fight at this point, as both sides try to hone in on each other's tracers. think the Argentinians have ammo in their bunkers, so they're fine to keep suppressing. Alright. They're definitely pointing out to each other what they can do here in their remaining bunker areas. This is a nice bunker to do Overwatch, but not a lot to go with. River still staying low. And we've got Op4 starting to make a counter-attack here as they push in through this open area. We'll see what they can pull moving around this open area. What LMG does each side have? Technically, Doopy, neither side has an LMG because an LMG means light machine gun. Both sides actually have medium machine guns, MMGs, and they're mirrored. So the British have the GPMG, the General Purpose Machine Gun, which is 100 rounds, boxes of 7.62 by 51 NATO. And I think the Argentinians have 240 Bravos, which is the American GPMG, which is also 100 rounds of 7.62 by 51 NATO. So both are identical. The difference in this round specifically is the British have 2 per squad and the Argentinians have 1 per squad. And that's because the Argentinians have the defensive advantage. And yeah, it's also FN Mag versus, yeah, pretty much FN Mag versus FN Mag. And then the Argentinians have the single loading rifle, SLR. The British have the L1A1, but both are 20-round 7.62 by 51 NATO battle rifles. The difference is the L1A1 is single shot and the SBR is full auto, which hasn't really made much of a difference because the suppressive fire has been a lot from the GPMGs on both sides, and with the British having 2 per squad compared to the Argentinians, they've been able to keep par with any riflemen on the Argentinian Green Force side that have gone full auto. But this is just a massive 7.62 by 51 NATO fight, essentially, in terms of the caliber of the round, which is a big caliber. So if you get hit with it once, you're pretty much dead. And we've been seeing a lot of people dropping like flies because of that. So British forces here have laid low. We got Aja up here, moving up with a captured M79 because that was only on the Argentinian side. And you can see he's firing into this position and taking people out with it. He's on 1 kill right now. The Maz was on the British side, but both sides appear to have M72 Laws, which are single-shot disposable AT launchers, which I think they've been using as shock weapons. Aja's now coming up with the GPMG right here. See, that looks like a GPMG though, but both are pretty identical. Aja, he didn't have a box loaded in his gun! And he gets blown away by Gardell's GPMG because of that mistake. Always, always, always make sure you have ammo loaded in your gun if you're going to be making a frontal assault like that. Because he had the opportunity to do a lot of damage, but fortunately just fell on his face. 6-4 moving up with a -2, which means he's killed 2 friendlies. That's 6-4. Let's see if he makes up for it. Blows 1 guy away. He should have -1 now. He's going to shoot Gardell, maybe? Nope, Gardell returns fire. Gotta remember, Gardell has, oh, no, he has a 240 Bravo, so he's going to basically be full autoing. And he gets blown away by Gardell. We'll see 6-4 in chat momentarily, because he was in chat earlier. Ooh. I'm going to ask 6-4 who he shot then. Still got River up here. He's been moving up very cautiously. He took an enemy SBR, actually. No, he didn't. Never mind. The SBRs have a metal finish. L1A1s appear to sometimes have a wood finish. I would say maybe he did it for weapon PID's sake with audio, but both are 7.62 by 51 NATO battle rifles, so there's no point picking up an enemy gun because they're both going to sound the same. It could be that doopy, but both are, again, it's a mirror match of calibers here and weapon or ammo amounts, so they're all going to sound the same. I think we just watched Cobra here. He's still ragdolling freshly, which means he got shot, and he doesn't have, he's not in an ace animation, so I think he's dead. Yeah, I don't see his body on the roster here, so he just got fucking sniped there. Damn. This match will be over in 10 minutes tops, probably 5 minutes, but you got Op 4 now starting to get on top of this ridge. L7A2 GPMG, right. That's the official designation of the British GPMG, but GPMG is still a GPMG. You can also say 308 instead of 7.62 by 51 NATO. True. But I like to, the reason I say the full thing is because I like to compare it to 7.62 by 54, which is the Russian caliber. Because when I do PvP commentary in Friday Night Fights, for example, we usually see a lot of comparisons of 7.62 by 51 versus 7.62 by 54, in which case I say it's, you know, nearly identical in terms of ammunition when I'm talking about balance. Anyway, Floppy, thanks for gifting out a sub once a Vader. Hope you will keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Alright, Green 4 are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players. Which means they've only taken 3 casualties since the last time we checked. British, meanwhile, are getting flanked right here. But, Goda here just came up and took him out. I think that's his community. It's, I don't even know how to pronounce that right now, I'm not gonna lie. But you got Gardell right here also firing with the GPMG, but he gets taken out by Oscar. Nakamura, that's how you say it. But he's getting green on green by his own guys right here. It would be red on red, technically, because they're Op 4. But still, friendly fired. So they've got 5 guys up here. Op 4's, Green 4's down to 5, 6 as well. Actually, 2 in that far bunker, 4 in that near bunker. Few more British coming up, but a lot are stuck on Overwatch elements. Got some red flares going. Everyone on the outskirts of the bunkers are down. They're just holding the bunkers themselves. Got a little more suppression fire coming from the British, probably on that far bunker. Hour mark has been trekked. We gotta remember there was like 10 minutes of setting up. Oh yeah, my prediction for this only taking an hour was pretty accurate. Now we just have to see the British thread the needle here and finish off the rest of the forces locally. So I think they're just doing some medical prep right now. Some of them took some hits on their extremities. You also have the 203 right now firing around that bunker. Green 4 is still down to 6. They're trying to pick off some British forces right here. British are returning fire because they don't have any other method to work with here. Hey, Martin, how you doing? Ooh! He just got blown away by a 203 round. Now would be being launched by that squad leader up there. Shock weapons work. Brits have a mix of FALs. Yes, technically, you could consider them FALs, but its exact designation is L1A1s. And the squad leaders have M16A4s. They could be A3s, actually, but they do have 203s. So 1 per squad, whereas the Argentinians have an M79 gunner with, you know, the China Lake. to also have a GL capability. So I'm waiting to see the British forces. 3 more guys have come up here from CTU. They might do the push. Another unit was taken out, so it's only 2 guys remaining in this bunker. Green 4 has 4 guys total, so we're going to see the British swing right to left. The reason you also hear all those seagulls is I think the seagulls represent the spectator slots, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I haven't seen any PvP on Falklands either. The only Falklands thing I can think of was when I was in Digby made a Falklands op months ago that I participated in and was able to do, I think, 2.5 hours worth before I had to leave for an IRL event. But anyway, Elmer and Tavo trying to check the entrance of the bunker here. Miguel might come up and finish them. Rennie also running up here. Ooh, a grenade goes in. That might get him. Tavo survives getting blown away. Grenade goes off, and I think just blew Elmer away, and Tavo just got blown away by Rennie's shots there. Checking the map here. Elmer is still alive. You have these 2 Green 4 guys now rushing back as the rest of Op 4 continues to sweep. M16A1, yeah, so I might be completely wrong, but still it's an M16. But otherwise, both of them just got shot. And that is it. It is a British victory for round 1. Guys, there will be a second round where British players will play as the Argentinians, and Argentinians will play as the British. Elmer, I think, woke up and just shot someone. And, oh, Chris takes him out. And that is it. No more Argentinian players are on the AO. That is a British victory. GG. Again, guys, there will be a second round where the British will play as the Argentinians, Argentinians play as British. And yeah, about the hour mark is where it out. Yeah, feel free to pay it out to the British, because at this point, British won that. I think they're just finishing up the sector here. They're probably have it automatically end when the sector is taken itself. Overall, as someone that's spectated PvP, starting with FNF back in 2019-esque, I'm going to be honest, based off the number count I saw on the Argentinians, British had a number advantage there. The scenario, the British kind of assaulted on the points I expected them to. I'm not surprised the British won. Granted, in the first scenario over there, the British got 5 kills early on with their GPMGs, which really thinned the original line of the Argentinian force to allow the British to go up there and take over the position. I think maybe if those Argentinian players that got killed in the first round of machine gun fire survived a bit longer, this might have been a little bit differently, but considering the numbers of the British forces still alive, I think it would have only delayed the inevitable, excuse me. So I think going forward with the other round, it's leaning towards the British based off of this AO build, but we could still see an upset when it comes to the CQC of the PvP itself. So I think they're just waiting for this sector to be taken and allow them to automatically be paid off. God, I can't English today. But that should be it. More or less. Again, second round will be soon. And then I'll let you guys vote on whether or not we stream Daisy or Darktide. But yeah, they planned for this to be a potential 2-hour event. Only needed half that time, which I predicted in the beginning. Don, no, we'll wait till the second round to put up a poll, if you don't mind. All right. So, I'm curious on what you guys thought about that, and we'll see how things go. Yes, I did Tomahawk. I said it would probably only take an hour based off of the AO, but, you know, c'est la vie. Now, let's see. I have a third POV to add to the multi. It's a YouTube POV, so I'm just going to put the link down because it's not compatible with multi-Twitch, but that's fine. I'm also going to switch up my unit. Let's play something a little more casual. There we go. Now that the first round's done, second round's just going to be a flip-flop. And they're still going. I think because they're waiting for the timer for the round to officially finish, but yeah, it's pretty solid on what's going on. Oh, this dude's still unconscious up here. Never to be found again. Now, don't get me wrong. The British are only down to about 15 or so players right now. So the Argentinians did do a great job countering, but I don't think it just wasn't enough, unfortunately, you know? And sorry, Tomahawk, it's really hard to detect sarcasm over text. I don't know how long the timer is, but here, let's click around and see on the British side who had the most kills here. Miguel on 2, Ziki on 6, Ilbanek on 2, Sixor on -1. He killed 2 friendlies. Nakamara on 2, Oscar on 1. Rodriguez also killed a friendly, so at least 3 friendly fire kills on the British side. Jesus freaking Christ! Okay! 13 for Rennie. I didn't realize he kicked that much ass. SDO on 4, that's not bad. What was that? Who was that? Row on 2, okay. Norval on 3. Meme on 3. Now, of course, this idiot gets a -1. Gardell on 5, not bad. Biker on -1, which means he team killed. Dante on -2, which means he team killed twice. Station on 2. A lot of 1s and 0s. Rydell on -2, which means he team killed twice. Excellent. Adriel on 2. Wally on 2. Oh, there it goes. Oh, well. 13 kills, though. That's nuts.